Yeah, hello and welcome again here on TSJ TV. Thank you very much for joining us again. I am Sidelineview and I am the sports jock. And if you didn't know, now you know. Guys, thank you very much for actually watching my videos. Thank you very much for liking and commenting and sharing. I know Sean is always watching my videos. Thank you very much, Sean, and thank you to the others. Thank you. Well, today we chatting stadium attendance, which is a growing concern. It always been in existence that in South Africa generally sport isn't well attended, live sport isn't well attended. In some cities you do find that people have quite a lot of options. I know in Durban the weather's always beautiful. People opt to go to Ushaka Marine or go to the beach or the other beaches around Durban. Cape Town, there's Table Mountain, there's Robben Island, there's the waterfront, there's Camps Bay, there's a lot to do. Joburg, you can go to Orlando and view the township. You can go anywhere instead of going to the stadium. But as a broadcaster and journalist, it really is sad walking into a Wanderers stadium when the Lions are taking on the Titans in a 4-day match, and it's just you, the cameraman, the coaches, the reserves, the ground staff, and a couple of journalists as well. It really is disheartening. It is kind of sad walking into such a stadium where there isn't much attendance from the crowd. But the difference is that when South Africa play, obviously people will come out because they want to see AB de Villiers wearing green and gold, Faf du Plessis, and part of my job is to actually encourage people to come to the stadiums. I know I've got the privilege of getting myself some tickets, and I generally invite people who haven't been to the stadium before. I know one in particular that I won't mention who had never been to the stadium, and I quietly suggested through an email that, you know what, I can organize you 3 tickets, bring 2 friends who've also never been to the stadium, because these people had never been to a live cricket match. Took them there, got them tickets, they went, time of their lives, and they got, you know, pretty sauced. I'm not going to say wasted or drunk or whatever, but they had a good time. I asked them a few questions after the match. What did you particularly enjoy? They just said the atmosphere. You know, which it may sound to you pretty obvious that if you go to a live match, you'll get the atmosphere. But with live cricket or rugby or any sport, there's just that sense of everybody being behind a specific team. The chanting, the cheering, the 6, the 4s, the tries, the goals, madness, and it's unmatched. You can't relate to it if you're watching at home. And I know broadcasters try by all means to bring you as the spectator at home, the viewer at home, closer to the stadium and the action as possible, with all the graphics and the replays and the HD cameras, and which sort of take you to the stadium and put you right in the middle of the field. But I've just picked up a few stats from the Premier Soccer League from 2016-2017 season. I've looked at just 3 or 4 teams and the capacity in terms of stadium, capacity in terms of people who walked through the gates, and the average attendance. Start off with one of the leading brands in South African sport, Kaizer Chiefs, which has a good and in fact an admirable attendance and brand and following in not just South Africa but in Africa. They are fortunate to be at home to the biggest stadium here in South Africa. 94,700 is the capacity at FNB Stadium. 649 spectators came through the gates for the 2016-2017 season for Kaizer Chiefs. The average crowd attendance, though, is just below 20,000, 19,975. And obviously this is through 14 matches, and the average or the percentage is 21.1%. So I know that's a lot to take in. Basically what it means is 21.1% of the stadium is full every single time Kaizer Chiefs is playing at Soccer City. 21.1%. And if you look at Stoke City, West Brom, and Huddersfield, who perhaps, with all due respect to them, if they were South Africans or they were a South African team, wouldn't get even a drop of the numbers that they generate in England. Obviously, it's two worlds apart. England, in terms of demographics, are not miles ahead, but they are quite ahead. South Africa is still going through the aftermath of apartheid, and the demographics of the country suggest that the football following is followed hugely by black South Africans and those who are labourers, mine workers, taxi drivers, some working officers, ordinary working citizens, and they knock off at 5 o'clock. A PSL match starts at 7:30, 7:15 at times. The time between leaving the office, work, or wherever they work, or to get home is quite a distance. If I think now, if someone works in Sandton and has to travel to Soweto with the traffic and everything, it takes about an hour to get home. You're at home at 6 o'clock, pick up the wife and the kids, and you have to drive to Loftus, which is another hour, and you get there just before kickoff. It sounds easy in theory, but trust me, I know Joburg traffic can be a nightmare, and which is the case across the country. Hence I say transport is the issue. Transport needs to be the burning issue that unions, municipalities, provinces, and South African sport in general needs to pay attention to, is that people want an easy way of getting to the stadium. A lot of focus goes into stadium experience, but you need to get the people inside the stadium first. People need to leave the office knowing that they're going to the stadium, not get home and think about going to the stadium. People must know on Monday that at the office there's banter, there's I'm going to the stadium on Thursday, are you coming along, blah blah blah. I want those conversations in the office as well to take part, where people will meet in Rosebank to catch the Gautrain to Hatfield and jump off and take an Uber to, or even walk sometimes to Loftus Versfeld, watch a Mamelodi Sundowns match on Wednesday. By 9 o'clock the match is done, you catch another Gautrain back to Joburg. The issue is the Gautrain doesn't work after 8:30, 9 o'clock from Pretoria to Johannesburg, which in essence you'd get someone leaving the stadium at 9 o'clock at Loftus Versfeld, they jump into an Uber to the Hatfield station, catch a Gautrain to Park Station, where Park Station they'll catch the Metro Rail to Soweto. That's how things should be working in South Africa. That's how things should be if we want people to get to places. Accessibility, the flow of people. We know in other countries that is a huge part of the kind of GDP, that they move people or they move the consumer. The consumer has the money, but you must be able to move the consumer as quickly as possible from point A to point B so that they can spend their money. And if I look at the numbers as well, in total, 16 teams, obviously in that 2016-2017 PSL season, 213 matches were played, and only 4 matches were sold out. 4, and in those 4, you have to take into consideration the Soweto derbies, which is 2 of them in a Premier Soccer League season. The average crowd attendance of a PSL match in that season was 2,488 people per match in a PSL match in that 2016-2017 season. It's just numbers that aren't pleasing. It's numbers that are just not welcoming, certainly from South African point of view. Sorry man, I just got distracted there for a second because I got my numbers wrong. 6,810 is the correct number in terms of average spectator for a PSL game in that 2016-2017 season. 23.2% in terms of capacity of the grounds across the country that were full, which numbers aren't pleasing at all, like I said. So it's that we've got a starting point, we know the issue, we know where we can fix it. I still maintain that transport is the key. If we can focus on that, government can look into that, The SASCOC can look into that. The PSL, SAFA, Cricket South Africa, SARU can come together and sort of have an Indaba, because they're always having Indabas, aren't they? Have an Indaba focused solely in just getting people around stadiums, getting people to the stadiums, and having an agreement that the Gautrain on Tuesday and Wednesdays, if there's a match at Loftus, they will move people until, let's say, 11:30 will be the last train, Gautrain, leaving Hatfield in Pretoria. And at Park Station, there will be Metro Rail trains leaving Park Station to Soweto until midnight, because that's how it is in England. That's how it is in Europe. That's how it is in other countries. That's how people are able to follow their clubs. Liverpool playing at home on Wednesday, and then on Sunday. On Wednesday they've got a Champions League, and they've got 1,000 people at the stadium in Spain or wherever, because the transport is a lot easier. Yes, I did say South Africans are everyday laborers, some aren't getting paid a lot. And if I look at some of the figures that were provided to me, when I look at them, certainly it suggests that South Africans generally can't afford to go to the stadium during the week and over the weekend. But if you can just once a week go to a stadium, watch a match, and take it from there. Again, rugby is always an issue. The tickets are way too expensive. Last I checked, for a good seat, you need to spend about $400-500. There's the family, there's the son, there's the wife who also wants to come to the stadium. So I think it's not, and I don't want us to talk about the tickets and how much they cost, and do you have to save, or do you buy season tickets? No. Get yourself a pickup club. Get yourself acquainted with your stadiums and the routes and how you can move around in terms of an Uber. Can there be a Quantum or a bus that transports you guys every Wednesdays and every Tuesdays that you guys pay every month? And let's find ways, guys. Let's find ways of getting into the stadiums so that we are able to go to the unions or the provinces or the municipalities and Department of Sport and Recreation. Go to them and tell them, guys, we want to go to the stadiums. It's just difficult. We don't own cars. Therefore, we need these trains. We need the buses to operate at those hours, because it really is an issue that needs to be taken seriously with regards to stadium attendance, that people generally want to go to the, and I know in early 2000s it was a case of black South Africans were scared to go to the stadiums, particularly in rugby. They'd get racial comments, slurs, this and that. But we've moved on from that. People are woke now. People are able to look past those things, and people are being arrested and charged for calling people names or derogatory terms. So that's been nullified, but people still want to go to the stadium. Let's not focus on the stadium experience. Let's focus on getting people inside the stadium, and I think transport is the main issue with regards to people wanting to go to the stadium versus being on the couch and watching full HD with top quality cameras and camera angles and graphics and this and that are provided for you on the couch, as opposed to being at the stadium. Tell me what you think. Tell me what are your thoughts in terms of how we can improve stadium attendance in South Africa with regards to all sports. I'm not talking cricket, rugby or soccer. I'm talking all sports. How we can improve stadium attendance here in South Africa. But tell me, comment, like, and guys, I really do appreciate it, and I thank you for tuning in here on TSJ TV sometimes. Please tell others, and please tell them to subscribe and follow our chat about anything that is sport related. But until then, thank you very much, guys, and next week there'll be plenty more to talk about, because the PSL is edging closer to the end. The EPL is edging closer to the end, even though we know the champions are Manchester City. Congratulations to them. And so is the Super Rugby edging closer to that next round of matches, which most teams, or some of the teams, have secured, but most still wanting to be part of. But from my side, thank you very much. Until next time, yaman, yeah.